What is going on, everybody? It's man Micah back with another video. Back here to talk about WWDC that Apple just had today, June 6th on a Monday. And boy, did they show us their attempts to really try to persuade people over from Android to Apple. The reason why I'm leading with that is because the biggest difference between, at least for a good point of time, between Android and Apple was the ability or the inability to customize your phone, to personalize it to you. And now we see Apple slowly but very surely add the ability to customize your phone to differentiate your iPhone from somebody else's iPhone. The reason why I'm holding my S22 Ultra here is because as much as I like this, including the S Pen here at the bottom, I am borderline thinking about switching on over to Apple. And that's because although I dig, fingerprint sensor real quick, boom. Although I dig customization I've been able to do myself on my phone, the widgets on Android don't look as good as Apple's widgets. I'm just gonna be honest about it. Now, of course, do I like being able to customize, and I like what I've been able to do on my phone throughout the years. When you think of Nova Launcher or the many different third-party launchers that you can download to then customize your phone, which of course I've done and showed in the past about different home screens I've had set up and all that fun jazz. Yes, but something built innately into the software where maybe you don't want to do all that incremental, small, meticulous adjustments, and you just want some clean looking widgets that go along with the full aesthetic of the device, both from a software perspective and a hardware perspective, where there's just immediate cohesion there with the widgets. And now with the new lock screen and notification improvements that they're adding in iOS 16, ooh, I mean, it's getting harder and harder to stay on Android. And not just from a customization perspective, but thankfully I've been able to experience a great ecosystem with Samsung to feel at home, so to speak, in a world where I feel support and I feel connectivity between devices, whether it's with the watch to the phone, the earbuds to the phone and or to the tablet, and vice versa, along with the tablet to the phone interface, and with the more recent laptops that Samsung has pushed out. And really, when you think about it, this kind of started with One UI 3.1 with a lot of app continuity features that have been implemented in Samsung's ecosystem. If it wasn't for that, it would be easy to very much so join Apple's ecosystem, because it is a true family of products that work together seamlessly. But now that you can customize your phone to your liking from the perspective of layered wallpapers, being able to essentially hide aspects of the clock behind aspects of your wallpaper, how machine learning works so well on these Apple products, and how you're able to change color in terms of the clocks or the clock widget on the lock screen. Now granted, Samsung, of course, you have to download Good Lock in order to get these additional customization features that's not necessarily all the way built in to the software or baked into the software, if you will. You can access that. I mean, I do have that on mine. You may not be able to see it right now, but I do have that in mine. So being able to access a lot of these features I've had for a long time with Samsung and Android, but seeing Apple really implement it well on a first try basis as well. It's not like they've had to do a lot of updates to kind of fix things, or it didn't really go well, it was wonky. Like, they really thought it through before implementing and showcasing it as a feature of the new software update that you're typically looking forward to. And that's the major firmware update of iOS XX, iOS 16 in this case. The ability for them to also manage to bump down the notifications to the bottom of the screen and to layer them in a specific way where you can access them, but they're also not in the way, is very nice. Now granted, again, on Android, if you look, you can hide your notifications fairly seamlessly. Like, I mean, I don't have none right now, but they would show up in a little bar, and once I click on that bar, then it would outline my notifications. But I do like how Apple has theirs, you know, simulated, so to speak, or streamlined on the lock screen. Now, they didn't say whether or not these changed in the notification panel when you swipe down, but at least in terms of the lock screen, they really put a lot of thought and care into how they want to implement customization. And you can personalize it even more by being able to make lock screens and then just switch them out, which is also amazing. And then to have like a virtually a live wallpaper lock screen, something that I've always wanted to successfully work on an Android device. That's one thing that Apple's weather widget has over Android's weather widget app anyway, is the ability to see the weather animated within the app. And now you get to see that played out on the wallpaper for lock screen is amazing. And the next step for them is to really implement that as a form of a wallpaper for the phone, period. That's one of the things that's gonna be really, really cool. And then on top of that, you got personal versus work profiles or lock screens slash, you know, notification that you may or may not want to see, that they've seamlessly kind of intertwined into their software, which is amazing. And the messages, right? Like the ability to now edit and unsend messages, something that you can do kind of sort of with Textra, which is a third-party texting app on Android. Google Messages, you can't do either one of those, and they only recently have they really applied or implemented being able to react to messages or accept, you know, iOS reactions. But the fact that Messages continues to get upgraded in a way that is beneficial for its users, and it will still show that you edited your message. Again, thought and care has been put into their software, and that's something that Apple was primarily anyway, was a software-based company. If you think about Google, they're the same way. They just make so much software that they lose themselves in their own software, and that's where it can hurt Android from time to time. And only recently, again, have we seen Google actually start streamlining and mandating specific aspects of software to companies that have to use to kind of organize Android from that perspective. You don't really have that problem with Apple. So that's definitely and totally respected from that perspective, and their initiative to really get states on board with digital licenses, right? Your driver's license, again, Vax card that you can do. You can already do that on Samsung, of course, but being able to have that implemented in your Apple Pay or Apple Wallet app or whatever it's going to be called, right? You see a lot of that played out in the world of Apple now, and it's really showing like the gravity of their power from that perspective. Now, we already kind of knew anyway. When you think about NFC and terminal, you know, pay in terms of like Android Pay or Samsung Pay, Google Pay, none of that was taken serious until Apple actually did it. Android's been on things since the way beginning, but people really wouldn't take it serious until Apple did it. And unfortunately, that's just the name of the game right now. But in this case, watching how they're doing their customization for their devices is really, really nice to see and very, very tempting to play with. Not to mention these features most likely come in the iPadOS. And one of the features that I see that they're bringing across the iPad and the laptops or macOS Ventura is Stage Manager, something that really almost sort of kind of 3Ds your interface with an app that you're currently using, and then it shows all the apps that you currently can switch through, and then by clicking them they switch places, and it just looks so clean and fluid. It looks really, really nice. So I'm glad to see that. And you see Apple really kind of going full stream with sharing and teamwork through their devices, because let's be clear, everybody, most companies use Apple products. So being able to share your projects and your ideas with other workmates or teammates, you know, in terms of whatever you're trying to do, and you can add them to this free form, if you will, which is another aspect that they've added to their ecosystem in terms of software, where people can just interject their ideas right there live, and then while you're in this group project, you can call, text, FaceTime each other. Everything just so built so intuitively into their software. And of course, now that they make their own silicon, it makes it that much more easier for their stuff to just work together with no problems, because everything speaks the same language. Woo! Apple is testing my wallets, because the boys got dust in there right now, but I'm trying to materialize money, because that M2 chip also looks very, very nice in a MacBook Pro and or MacBook Air. And them adding that midnight color, which looks a little more blue to me than black, looks very nice as well. So much that Apple has going on. And it's like, I mean, what does iOS 17 look like next year if they're following up with, you know, from iOS 15 to iOS 16 with these with additional customization, you know, features? It just makes you really think about what iOS 17 is going to look like. And when they finally enter the fold game, what does that look like? Ooh. Let me know down in the comment section below if you're tempted to switch over to Apple if you haven't already, or if you are already in Apple's ecosystem. Do you find these features to be more enjoyable? Does it add to the experience of being in Apple's ecosystem? Let me know down in the comment section below. But again, as always, if you guys haven't already, make sure to like the like button, subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell so that way you know my videos. So we can sit back, chillax, see what's cracking. With your man Micah signing out until the next video. Wait.